Be back here? Yeah. Okay, awesome. I just don't want to my butt to them. I didn't want to do that. That okay? Okay, awesome. Welcome. I first would like to say thank you to the WOW Festival, Becca and Albert Rohr for having me. Feel very fortunate to be here and very grateful to be here to share my knowledge with you. While you're here for me to discuss the importance of foam rolling and dynamic warm-up pre-sport, as I've already discussed with you. A little bit about myself. I have a gym down in town. I own 8750 Alt. Inside 8750 Alt are two other is Balanced Physical Therapy. So I have therapists in there, which I feel very fortunate to have in there, Derek and Laura Homer. And we work as a team, helping people. I'm right across from the post office. So I'm between Lux West and the Mountain Tails. I'm in between those two.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep, I'm a mother of one and a wife of 13 years. That's my awesome husband. Here, he has a marketing business, and he's here, as you know, streaming, so I can have this, and you can have it. Again, because whenever I go to my conferences, I'm always bummed because I'm doing the hands-on, and I lose it. You know what I mean? Because I'm going hour after hour after hour after hour, and so that's why I asked him to do this, so you can get more than I get, and I pay a lot more for my conferences, so you're getting a lot. I hope you feel that way when you walk away. So knowledge is power. I'm a believer in education, and why am I doing what I'm doing? And I think I mentioned I did the Ironman almost 10 years ago. I was foam rolling after the fact. Beforehand, I was after the fact. Oh my God, I'm having problems here. After the fact. So I was foam rolling after the fact. Mark Vergenstein, which he's a reference that I use, he had a book called Core Performance. And I found that book, and I started foam rolling after I was already kind of injured, right? So with that said, I am very, very proud to say that I have learned to, from people and to give you some better information that's more current. And the NSCA is part of that, and you'll learn about my association as well. So let's get on to the good stuff. So what is fascia? You ever looked at a chicken breast or a whole chicken and seen that white film that's on top of that chicken breast, that little film that you tend to cut off? Not the fat, just that's fascia. That is fascia. And there's parts of it where it's thicker, when there's more places that you have connected, right here on the side of your hip. Probably you've never felt that before, how tight that is when you foam roll. There's more muscles right there and connective tissue and nerves and everything. It keeps everything supported. Does that make sense? So you've got your skin, all of your fascia, and then you have your skeletal muscle underneath. What we call that is a myofascial system. Why do we roll it? So the most recent information on why we roll it is what happens is we get an adhesion whenever we have disuse, injury, overuse. And the adhesion is where the skeletal muscle and the fascia get stuck, right? And the adhesion is where something gets stuck. And so what we're trying to do is roll it out. We're trying to get it unglued. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's kind of like, wow, all right, that makes more sense than a lot of the information that I've gotten prior. You can see in these pictures, my husband was great. He's got all these pictures of the foam roller, the tiger tail, and the myo release ball. We'll be using all of those today. Contraindications, very important. If you have osteoarthritis, if you have a bulging disc, if you have a broken rib, if you have anything like that, I ask that you do not foam roll your back, please. Post-surgery, if you're having low blood pressure when you're getting up and down, I wouldn't have someone getting up and down off the ground off of a foam roller. I just wouldn't. And that's very important. We don't want you not coming off the floor. So please let me know if you have any of those issues. Dynamic warm-up. Dynamic warm-up is also done prior to your workout. Why is that? And what is that? These are a series of movements that actively elongate your muscles. They help you with balance, mobility, warming up your blood, your heart before you start moving. It's warming up with a purpose, and that is really important. And this is why. You've never seen this before, ever. All right, so you have people that dive into, they come right from their desk, right, into, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna start doing squats. And they're so tight here in their hip flexors from being seated. This guy's kind of the other way. He's kind of like this, but more than likely he was doing this for 8 hours and he's just exhausted from the day, that his glutes start to shut down and his hip flexors become, we call these, whenever something's really tight on our body, it's tonic and it's strong. And anything on the opposite, the opposing muscle, is long and phasic and it doesn't fire as well as it should. So, and that is called reciprocal inhibition. Really, I'm not trying to talk over your head. I should have brought that up. I just like to talk anatomy. I like to talk why we're doing what we're doing, and that's what happens is over time from being seated and doing too many squats or skiing all the time like this. You think your glutes are going to activate that well? They're not. They're not going to turn on like you should. So we do a dynamic warm-up. We do a series of movements to get you warmer, right? Get these neuromuscular pathways to open back up so you can start moving and not get injured. This is awesome picture. This is someone doing a dynamic warm-up in a ski boot on top of the mountain. All my clients, I give them a dynamic warm-up to do before their sports. And this is, I have to say, I forget that they have their ski boots on and that they can do this glute activator. He's doing a glute activator. See how he's opening up his hip flexor, right? And he's firing his glute. And anyway, this is in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research in 2008. It showed that athletes who performed a dynamic warm-up daily for 4 weeks showed significant improvements in strength, power, speed, endurance, flexibility, and agility compared to athletes who performed a warm-up of static stretching, who just went like this, right? Okay. These are my references. This is the Mark Verstingen. I can't say his last name very well, pardon me. He's the one that I told you about whenever I was doing the Ironman. I found his core performance book. His book is great. It's a great book. And then Elizabeth Quinn, some of the information on myofascial, and then Paul Chek. He is a great reference for anybody who wants to work on mobility and spine and keeping mobile. And then I'm associated with the NSCA, and I'm very fortunate to have these people. We should all feel very fortunate to have these people because they do a lot of research and give us the good stuff so we can keep moving and having fun, right? All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna turn on the lights. I have to show you that. Yes, I should bring sunglasses in here with that, right? All right, so let's turn on the lights. And if you want to grab a foam roller, and the pink and the white one are obvious, they're the